Hey, everybody, this is Cameron from Obnoxious and Anonymous, and welcome to the Twin Peaks Thought of the Day. Today is Thursday, July 5th, 2018. My co host today is none other than Joey Pedris from the Joey Pedris YouTube channel. How's it going?
It's going all right.
Yeah?
How's it going, Cameron?
Oh, it's going good. It's going good. We are only a few days away from the Emmy nominations being announced.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that is going to be sort of a bombshell kind of day, regardless of whatever happens. If Twin Peaks gets a bunch of nominations, people are going to be writing a bunch of think pieces about how Twin Peaks deserves everything it's getting. If it doesn't get very many, there's going to be a bunch of think pieces saying that people in America are a bunch of stupid heads and we don't understand anything.
Those articles.
Yeah, we'll get to one in a minute. If it gets half, a few, maybe Kyle, maybe best show or whatever, there'll be a bunch of think pieces saying that, we didn't give them enough. That being said, I did see Entertainment Weekly. They posted an article saying, who they think will be nominated for Emmys, and then even list Twin Peaks. And this is a website that completely kissed this show's butt all year last year. So
I bought all the covers. What? Really?
So it didn't even make their radar. But since we're on this topic right now, there was an article that came out today from Decider. Have you ever been to Decider? I'm not saying anything negative about them. I have never gone to Decider.com in my life, but
it sounds familiar, but I don't think I.
Okay, like I said, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying that I've never had that come up in my feed before. But today, a writer for that site, Megan O'Keefe, posted an article called "Twin Peaks: The Return was the most important thing on TV last year, and the Emmys better not forget it." Wow, that's
that title.
That's some strong words. Let me just read some of this article, and we can address it. She starts off, "Twin Peaks: The Return." First of all, it wasn't officially called Twin Peaks: The Return, but I get it. "Was an awe-inspiring 18 hours of television." I have that entire show on my editing timeline. It is not 18 hours. I just want you to know it's
oh, really?
Yeah, it's not quite 18 hours. It's not. I think it's just over 17 hours. But anyway,
we were robbed.
Yeah, we were robbed. All those Rancho Rosa logos just ate up that extra time. Each episode toyed with genre conventions and pushed narrative storytelling limits. It was a season of television that gave us Wally Brando, Dougie Jones. Let's just stop right there. Half the Twin Peaks fans hear that and they go, ugh.
The first one you mention is Wally Brando.
Yeah, that's what she says. Wally Brando and Dougie Jones. There's a lot of fans out there that just wish they never heard those names ever. But anyway, she goes on. Monica Bellucci dreams and the heart of darkness wafting out of a mushroom cloud. Let's just pause there for a second. Did you see Amanda's tweet yesterday from the Bookhouse Babes where she, again, I kid, but it just made me laugh in a very Dr. Strangelove kind of way, where she posted, "These are the only fireworks I care about." And then she showed the mushroom cloud. And I was like, I know what you're trying to say here, but this isn't such poor, bad taste here. There's a lot of people, not necessarily in that testing, but that testing was to do with, World War II, and all that. And it's like, I don't know if we should be celebrating the nuclear destruction of a whole race of people on this planet. But I get what she was trying to say. But when I read that tweet, I was like, oh, if you were just a little bit more famous, people would just tear this tweet to shreds. But but Twin Peaks community stays within the Twin Peaks community. So.
Yeah, we get it. We got you, Amanda.
Yeah. As challenging as it was miraculous, David Lynch and Mark Frost's return to the tangled saga of Twin Peaks, Washington, was worth the wait. Twin Peaks: The Return was a masterpiece. And that's precisely why it's insane to me that critics and Emmy pundits seem to have forgotten all about it a year later. Okay, let's just pause for a second. What is this person's name again? Megan O'Keefe. All right, well, let me tell you something, Megan. As somebody who was alive during the original series, 1 year after season 2 was over, nobody cared either. That's a fact. 1 year after Fire Walk with Me premiered, Snoqualmie and North Bend erased any...
Yeah, they didn't want anything to do with it, right?
They didn't want anything to do with Twin Peaks. Yes, there was the convention. I went there in the early 2000s, and I said, where's all your Twin Peaks stuff? And they go, we don't talk about such things here anymore. Right?
It's a dirty word.
Twin Peaks is a dirty word to some people. Now it's all, everything old is new again. But there, you know what? It was like that time between Return of the Jedi and the Phantom Menace. It was like it was dead. Mm-hmm. When David Lynch said it was dead as a doornail, like it truly was dead as a doornail. I mean, where I live, Lost Boys was filmed 30 minutes away from me. 30 minutes south of me is where they filmed like Turner and Hooch and
no way.
And the Out of This World, like the Evie show where she would pause time, and Basic Instinct was filmed here. There's nothing around here where you could get some Basic Instinct postcards. A lot of Clint Eastwood films are filmed around here because he was our mayor for years. So I understand, I mean, like a location doesn't have to like revel in it. But Snoqualmie, North Bend was kind of put on the map, at least TV-wise, by this show. So for them to completely listen, which is worse, the Emmys not talking about Twin Peaks, or the town in which Twin Peaks was filmed in pretending it never existed?
That's so rough.
That one's worse to me. But anyway, let's go on, Megan. She says, I say that they, quote unquote, seem to have forgotten because from where I'm sitting, the heat on Twin Peaks has decidedly chilled in the last 12 months. Let's think about every TV show after 12 months. Are people still talking about it? I mean, someone reminded me the other day, 1 year after Lost, nobody was talking about Lost.
I don't speak of Lost.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
I'm bitter. I'm still bitter about Lost.
All right, well, I'm just saying people weren't talking about it anymore. Then she goes on, last summer, the awe surrounded Twin Peaks: The Return seemed to actually vibrate on the air. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But that's because it was hip and cool to talk about it. With each episode's debut, we got new revelations to chew on, new heartbreaking depictions of modern American society, and even more puzzling scenes that forced us to reflect upon our own reality. To me, Twin Peaks' long-awaited third season was as groundbreaking as the original series had been. It pushed the limits of what art and what TV could be, and there was no doubt in my mind that it would light the way for subsequent series of television, much as the original Twin Peaks had inspired the structure and style of peak TV. Wow, what a wonderful, naive stance to live by. Like, seriously, like, I remember back in the day around, 94, 95, I think it was Entertainment Weekly that did a whole article like, isn't it funny you would never know Twin Peaks was ever on the air? Because by the mid-90s, nobody was doing anything like Twin Peaks. Everyone was running the other way because they saw what Twin Peaks did. Even Rob Thomas, when he created Veronica Mars, during the first season, Veronica Mars, season 1 is really good. He even came out and said, don't worry, everybody. Our show is not Twin Peaks. You're going to get an answer by the end of this season.
Jesus.
Right? So, like, everybody was like, we're not Twin Peaks. That's a dirty
word. Yeah.
A dirty word. And what's funny is I said, Rob, speaking, of course, to Rob Thomas here, the creator of Veronica Mars. Well, yeah, but, they solved Laura Palmer's murder in 17 episodes, and it took you 22 to solve Veronica's best friend's murder. So I don't see, the thing is that when people come out and crap about when people come out and crap on Twin Peaks, like, well, they didn't answer it after season 1. You realize season 1's only like 6 episodes and a pilot, right? Like season 1,
forget that.
season 1 was not 22 episodes, people. It was 6 episodes and a pilot. So I usually say 7 episodes because I always thought the pilot was episode 1, but then you grow up and you realize pilots are pilots.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think it's ridiculous. Let me continue on here. But yeah, if she even thinks that Twin Peaks: The Return is going to have a some sort of hold on what television is going to be, we won't know until 10 years from now.
People like to wax poetic about it, but it's I don't know.
Let's see. She continues. Now that Twin Peaks is finally eligible for Emmys, it's been shunted out of the conversation by The Assassination of Gianni Versace and accomplished TV like The Looming Tower. I mean, those shows are good, but they're not Twin Peaks. And while many experts predict that Twin Peaks will nab a few nominations, I've yet to see anything to suggest that it might win those awards. Okay, real quick. What are the shoe-in nominations for sure if it gets nominated for anything? I say Best Limited Series and Kyle MacLachlan as Best Actor. That's all I see happening.
Maybe David Lynch Best Supporting.
Maybe. Do you think they get a writing or
sound design too?
Do they have sound design at the Emmys? Or is that an Oscar thing?
I'm not sure.
I don't think they do. So, but does David Lynch do you think David Lynch will get a directing nomination?
Oh. Yeah. I could see him getting one.
Listen, I love Twin Peaks. I love Twin Peaks season 3. I have issues with it. I have issues with a lot of shows, but I still love it. Right. So I'm not coming at this from like a hater's perspective because I wouldn't be talking about the show like all the time on my channel if I didn't like it.
Question.
Yeah.
Which I forgot which episodes they submitted for
8 and 16.
Okay, so maybe
but Kyle is only in that thing for the first 10 minutes, episode 8, and then he's in a coma all through 16 until he wakes up at the end. Okay. So I'm not because I kept thinking, which episodes are they going to submit? Anyway, so that's what they submitted, even though they showed 18 at the Showtime presentation. So anyway, like I said, I'm not coming at this as a hater or anything. I'm coming at this as a realist. There's a very, very, very good chance Twin Peaks gets 0 nominations. Maybe 1 for Kyle. Maybe. But and listen, if it gets more, I'll be so enthusiastic and fantastic. But when I see people online saying like it needs to be nominated for all these awards, I'm like, you are kidding yourself. It will Laura Dern is not, I'm going to probably eat my words, but she is not going to get a nomination for playing Diane Evans. She's not.
I don't know.
I mean, unless Big Little Lies is out, right? Yeah. So maybe she might, but I highly, highly doubt it. Because that character has a very strong opening, it has a very strong closing, but then there's like 6 or 7 episodes where it's just like a one joke.
She's smoking and kind of not doing much.
She's smoking, she's got her legs spread, and she's texting. That's pretty much it. And she's saying F you to everybody she sees.
Yeah. I can see Naomi Watts.
Yes, I agree. I think Naomi Watts should be, precisely because she was actually given, and when I say this, I'm not saying one to knock the other, but Naomi Watts' character of Janie E was an actual character all the way through and actually changed and evolved as she went through.
Mm-hmm.
Diane Evans is a tulpa. At least the incarnation we got was a tulpa. And then we got redheaded Diane, who then just mysteriously just disappeared and we never hear from her again. That I don't think is going to snag an Emmy nomination, especially since she's not in those 2 episodes that they submitted.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking at and Showtime really went for it. I mean, they went for it big time. Remember We want Michael Horst nominated. We want Kimmy Robertson. We want Robert Forster nominated. We want all these people. I'm like you were just throwing needles into this haystack, just hoping for anything. They really, honestly, should have concentrated themselves to like 3 or 4 things and gone for it instead of like 50, try to get 50 nominations.
Who is the standout in this season besides Kyle for you? Was it Naomi? I think for me, it's Naomi.
I think it has to be Naomi because she's the one that got the most screen time.
She had more to do.
Now, my other answer would be David Lynch.
Yeah.
Because now again, his character didn't have a lot of, let's say, growth to it. It was always David Lynch playing Gordon Cole. But that blue scene, right, that everyone talks about with him and Albert, that's the most subtle acting I've ever seen David Lynch do. And it's like that's a real performance.
I love that scene to death.
That is not wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I put myself in Twin Peaks. That is a real performance. So honestly, if I had to choose, David Lynch gets a directing nomination versus a supporting actor nomination. I actually would be more excited for a supporting actor nomination than the directing nomination because he's been nominated for directing things. I mean, he's nominated for an Oscar for Elephant Man and Mulholland Drive and all that. But to be nominated as an actor amongst the peers of the Emmys, like that would be really cool.
That would be cool. Thinking about it now, yeah, that would be really cool.
Like I said,
I want to see that.
I really hope that it does get nominations. But listen, I was around when the show was originally on. I will be not shocked if it doesn't get any, if it just gets the obligatory one of Kyle. Honestly, and you know what? As Twin Peaks fans, no matter what, if it gets 20 nominations or 0 nominations, we have to just be cool with it and just be like, you know what? That's cool. Listen, we all love Twin Peaks. It's okay that the world doesn't love Twin Peaks because we do, right? I mean,
if the world loved Twin Peaks, we might be getting more people listening in.
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the other thing. But
just an aside, but
no, but I mean, if the world loved Twin Peaks, season 4 would already be announced.
Yeah.
So, but
it's a litmus test.
Right. So I don't know. I just think that no matter what, if it gets 20 nominations or 0 nominations, just be cool with it and go about your day. Like, who cares? Do you need the Emmys to justify your love for a show? No. And it's like, yes, of course you want your show to be praised, but people don't get this show. Most of us don't even get this show. You know what I mean?
There's 100 videos of us trying to figure it out.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying, I say that with a lot of love too. It's like, I mean, you can go back and watch all our early watch alongs and stuff like that. Like almost 99% of the predictions we made were false. But that was part of the fun for me. I mean, looking back, I'm like, oh my goodness. In many ways, I would say that some of our ideas were stronger than some of the things we got, but it is what it is. You have to just accept and move on. What
are you going to do?
What are you going to do? But let me see if there's anything else to her thing here. Okay, so she says, I'm concerned that Twin Peaks: The Return was so overwhelming in its power and released so long ago that Emmy voters have forgotten about it, and that is simply unacceptable. Well, Megan, you should just go to every voter's door and give them a copy and make them sit down and show them all the Audrey and Charlie scenes, and they'll tell you straight up why that show is not nominated.
I think she'd be surprised, to be honest.
What do you mean?
I remember when the show was on, there was a good number of people who I imagine are probably voters talking about Twin Peaks.
Right. But what I'm saying, though, is that if Twin Peaks doesn't get nominated, let's say it gets shut out except for Kyle, right? Mm-hmm. There are things that you can look at, even if you love the show, completely love it, okay? there are things that you can do to look at the show and say, why wasn't this more well received by the Emmy nominators? And there's like 10 things right off the top that you could say, well, this, and this would be the reasons why. Didn't have a straightforward plot. Now, I don't think that's a negative thing, but to a lot of Emmy nominated people, that means a lot, that they had a story they could follow. Right? So I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of things to get nominated for an Emmy that Twin Peaks didn't do. But that's okay. You know what I mean? Like if it gets shut out, it's just because it didn't comply with how most voters of the Emmys like to watch shows.
See, but I feel like if it were to get nominated, like it makes more sense, I think, for it to get more nominations now than when it first came out. Because people are more accepting of something nonlinear like that than they were back then.
Right. But I think it's because the show begins one way and transcends into something else and then ends like basically with the like pilot of season 4. Yeah. I don't think a lot of people in their, in the 60s and 70s, year olds up there watched episode 8 and was like, genius.
I remember that.
No, they're a lot of people are probably sitting there like, God, Lynch, can't you get over Laura Palmer and just what is this nonsense? Listen, I don't agree with that, but that's what people say.
Oh yeah,
right.
People make fun of me sometimes for liking Twin Peaks still.
Right. So that's all I'm saying is like you don't have to agree, but you have to understand like where people are coming from, and that doesn't mean. Let me get to what Megan's about to say about these people. She says, now, it has come to my attention that some people did not think Twin Peaks The Return was good television. Those people are stupid and have no taste.
Oh, it's that kind of thing.
Yes, I know that's harsh, but it's true. Really? Joey, you agree with that? That if you didn't like Twin Peaks The Return, that you're stupid and have no taste?
No. It means it's not your taste.
Exactly. There's a lot of people who like season 1 and 2 and who didn't like season 3 because they didn't feel like it was the same universe. Like if you go back and watch season 1 and season 2, when Agent Cooper has a vision or a dream, it clearly shows him sitting down, getting ready for bed, then having a vision or a dream. This is, we all live inside a dream. The whole thing's a dream pretty much.
Yeah, the concept changed.
Completely. So does that make it bad in my eyes? No. Do I understand why that may be bad in some other people's eyes? Yes, I get it. It's more, would you say that I will say this. I will make a grand statement, right? Because that's what YouTube's all about, grand statements. I think season 3 is more divisive than season 2 ever was.
Yeah, there's more at stake with the new season.
Well, not just that, but even the people who didn't like the back half of season 2, even if they hated it.
You know what? People that hated season 2 are dumb and have bad taste.
I agree. It's all about the pine weasel.
Yeah.
If you don't appreciate the pine weasel, okay, you can't have Mr. C. Okay. All right. But I'm just saying that like even the people who didn't like the back half of season 2, maybe it's just because we live in an internet culture. I mean, maybe if season 2 was on at this time, people would be railing about it when Andrew Packard shows up at and we're like, he's still alive. What the hell? But season 3 was definitely like you either loved it or you hated it, and those who loved it bashed the people who hated it. Like they bashed them. And you know what? I'm somebody who likes to understand everybody's point of view, right? I mean, there are things like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Inland Empire. I appreciate it, but I'm not a big fan of it. But when someone is, I like to pick their brain about it because I want to understand what it is they like about it, so that maybe I can find a way in to see something different.
That's how you have a civil adult conversation.
Yeah, well, that doesn't exist anymore.
I know.
We live in a black and white culture. If you're not with us, you're against us, that type of thing. I don't agree with that. That's why I kind of named this channel Obnoxious Anonymous to begin with, because I thought it would be completely ironic to not be that and yet be called that. But but it's really funny when you're like interviewing celebrities and they're like, "What's your channel called?" It's like, where am I being sent? Anyway, but like I like how this person like starts up this whole thing about like it should be nominated, this and that. Because if it's not nominated, you're stupid and you have no taste.
I hope they were being sarcastic.
They're not. Okay, here she continues on a technical level. Twin Peaks: The Return is sublime. Each episode is constructed with gorgeously framed shots. Okay, we need to just pause there right there. Okay, listen. Again, I say this with a lot of love, but we got to listen. We speak honestly on this channel. Okay? Listen, I will defend things left, right, and center, but I will speak the truth. And the truth is this. When people say David Lynch directed the best episodes of season 1, season 2, okay? I don't always agree. I think that what he did was great, but I think other directors did great work on that on the show too. I've said before, there's not a bad episode of Twin Peaks ever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the reason why people can say that about David Lynch's episodes is because he had the pick of the litter. I'm going to direct that one where Maddie dies. I'm directing that one. Oh, I'm definitely directing the Cooper Dream episode because I shot part of that Dream episode for the European pilot. Steven Spielberg wants to direct the season 2 premiere. I'm directing that one. Oh, some of the scenes from the season 2 premiere are going into the next episode. I'll direct this next episode too. So he had his pick of the litter of what he wanted to direct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the finale, that type of thing. But he directed the whole thing of this. So he got to do the big episodes, and he got to do the quieter, lackluster moments too.
Yeah.
So yes, there were amazing sequences of gorgeously framed shots. And then there was also a bunch that looked like television. Now, that's not a knock because television looks really good. But there were times in the show where it looked cinematic, and other times it looked like a show that you would see on TV. So I don't see how you could say every shot is gorgeously framed. Some of it looked very much run and gun, point and shoot. That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that like that's not a gorgeously framed shot.
That's probably what it was.
It was with the budget they had.
Yeah. I mean, every shot, when you're using those cameras, they're using the same cameras, more or less, that a lot of movies use. The same technology is being used on both sides. And
we've all seen the shot, or that thing from behind the scenes of him saying, "What are you talking about? We only have Ben Horn for 2 days." You know what I mean? Like, like we own the sets. Why don't we just, you know what I mean? That type of thing. And that it's so, I mean, they had to rush those Ben Horn scenes, right? And guess what? It shows. Because as Lynch says, I don't have time to get dreamy. I have to just basically go in there, get the shots, and get out.
You got practical, yeah. Right. And that's where you get those TV kind of looks.
And that's what I'm saying. So you can say Twin Peaks had some of the most gorgeous cinematography of last year, but you can't say every shot was gorgeously. Every shot of Blue Velvet looks like a painting. Okay. Twin Peaks: The Return, some of it looked amazing, and some of it looked like just television. Again, that's not a knock. Just saying, there's a difference.
No, the truth.
And you could see.
I agree.
And you could see the difference between Dougie sitting at home eating some cake, and episode 14 when Andy gets sucked into the White Lodge or whatever. Looks totally different. Right? And again, but Lynch finds a way to make it work, I think. But not every single thing is a gorgeously framed shot. That's all I'm saying. And as much as I love Peter Deming as a cinematographer, I wish that maybe Lynch had gone back to like Ron Garcia or even Frederick Elms, who shot Blue Velvet and Wild at Heart. Peter Deming you get Peter Deming when you want to run and gun, basically.
That wouldn't be too romantic about a shot.
Frederick Elms would have painted everything like a Kubrick film. You know what I mean? And they don't have time for that. I don't know what Ron Garcia is working on right now, but the thing is, though, Peter Deming, he got his chops on Evil Dead 2. Talk about running and gunning.
Yeah.
Right. He's done everything from Lost Highway to Scream 2. So he knows about how to get a good looking thing done in like 3 weeks, which is what they were up against.
And that's the case for a lot of shows now.
Right.
They try to just, cram it in. They got to get things done. It's a film, but it was a show. It's a film, but it was shot like a show.
It was a novel. That's what Mark Frost says.
Right.
It's a novel on screen, and that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think, I don't know. It's just kind of funny when people try to make it sound like it was like some, Kubrick type of thing every frame, and it wasn't.
The shoot. Okay, so the shooting, it had its moments, and then there was the TV moments. But then, I think if you want to talk about technical, technical meat, is the audio. In the audio, I think they did a really good job.
The audio for Twin Peaks: The Return, if that's what we're going to call it today.
Yeah.
That was cinematic from start to finish.
Yes.
In fact,
that's what I would say.
It was so. In fact, there were times when the sound was better than what we were looking at.
Mm-hmm. Have you listened to it with headphones on? It's gorgeous. It's so crisp and just it's so well done. Well done.
Yeah. So again, and it's hard to have these kind of conversations because, I know a lot of people want to just say everything was perfect or everything was bad, but I like to find the talking points,
You could from somebody that edits video, and I know stuff about film profiles and color grade. Even the picture profile of the thing was a lot like a lot of TV shows. It was pretty flat. It was pretty flat the whole time. There was some contrast in certain scenes, but most of the thing was pretty flat. So they didn't even go crazy in the color correction, color grading side either. So it's hard to say it was like a technical feat visually, besides episode 8.
What it was, if anything, was a monumental task of shooting something that big.
Yes.
But the trade-off was, if you want to do something that big with that many characters, you're not going to have time to make every single thing look like Blue Velvet. You know what I mean? Like I would,
it's practical.
Right. And yet, if you go back and you look at season 1, they had only 7 days to do like an episode. And yet I would argue that there are almost every episode of season 1 looks cinematic. Like one thing that people talk about is the Red Room hang on. Mr. C, you need to calm down a little bit. I know you're hungry. Oh my goodness. Anyway, people talk about the Red Room, right? They say the Red Room in the original series, and even in Fire Walk with Me, is moody, mysterious, and you okay? And in this one, it's very lit. It's so lit that I thought they were on a green screen. And then Sabrina told us, no, that's a real room. And I was like, what? Because it looks so like fake.
Yeah, it was super. It was, super HD. I don't know what they shot it on, but
no, it was so. But it looked so like bright that it looked fake, right? And it may have been Showtime's presentation, but it is what it is. But the thing is, though, is that that shows you right there. I mean, yes, I'm sure it's Lynch's choice, whatever, But that being said, they didn't go in there and change the lighting for any of those Red Room scenes. It was like, we got it set. Good. We don't have time. We're going to just shoot everything with this lighting scheme.
In the behind the scenes, it seemed like they shot the large majority of the Red Room scenes in the same day.
Wouldn't be surprised.
From the way I remember it.
I think they got it done in like a week and got out, But if you noticed, even when they were filming it, they had the same lighting the whole time. Like it wasn't like, well, that's specific lighting for the actors. No, they just lit the whole thing overhead.
All right, so this is the best the best example of how quick run and gun practicality they were was the TMZ thing. The whole thing where they kept the people in for that whole front of Laura Palmer's house scene. They didn't even bother moving the people. That's kind of counterintuitive because somebody had to go and cut them out. If that is true, but like,
if that is, listen. I've had that confirmed to me by at least 2 or 3 people.
For me, it's so hard to believe. It's so hard.
That would be the cheapest effect ever to do, which is move them.
Yeah.
Like, don't spend any money on that.
It makes sense. Like, don't worry, we'll cut them out later. We'll have more time later. Just shoot the damn thing. Like, I guess, but like, move them. If you're trying to be practical, just move these people.
It is what it is, I guess. But anyway, let's go back to what she says here. The imagery is so spectacular that it haunts you afterwards. I would agree that there is a lot of good imagery in it. I will agree.
I think about the Jeffries scenes a lot.
Oh yeah, that's good. Then she says, Kyle MacLachlan, Naomi Watts, and Laura Dern each delivered jaw-dropping performances. Twin Peaks: The Return is indeed worthy of praise. It is Emmy-worthy. It needs to be in the Emmys conversation. And then she says, now, I understand that awards like the Emmys are about popularity and politics rather than true artistic merit. Furthermore, I see the fallacy in pitting works of art against each other. That said, Emmys matter in so much that they show that we as a culture are acknowledging someone's talent in a specific moment. Twin Peaks: The Return doesn't just deserve special acknowledgement for its artistry, it demands it. So as the votes are tallied for this year's Emmys, I sincerely hope that Twin Peaks gets its due. I hope that art, strange, unnerving, gorgeous, and sublime art like Twin Peaks: The Return, prevails. And my answer to that is it's going to get shut out.
It'll get something. They'll throw a bone.
No, it will. But I'm just saying, listen, people, they want Twin Peaks to get nominated, but they really want to write the think pieces. They get to slam, old Hollywood for not acknowledging,
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. I'm already predicting it's going to happen.
Oh boy.
But it's like the whole thing. Like, remember when people getting really excited about the Golden Globes, and then Kyle got nominated and then he got shut out, and then it was like this whole thing, like, we still love you, Kyle. We're with you. This and that. And
people were hating Ian McGregor for no reason.
Right. And it's like the last thing we need is for Twin Peaks to become, like the fandom of like other things. Yeah. But it's headed in that direction. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of love out there. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But the bad are bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only going to be a matter of time before a lot of the good transcends and becomes Mr. C. Not this Mr. C.
little baby Mr. C.
Yeah. But I really hope for the best. I hope it gets 10 nominations. But I also as somebody who has gone through, most of my life following David Lynch's career, I won't be surprised if it gets 0 to 1 or 2, And guess what? I'm okay with either way, because I don't care.
I don't really care either, but
because I loved Twin Peaks when nobody liked it. Every Saturday night, 10 o'clock in 1991. I was watching it. I don't know where everybody else was.
I was probably sleeping in a crib somewhere.
There was, I was doing Twin Peaks videos long before it was cool to do Twin Peaks videos. So I really don't really care what people think. Even if when I first started doing these videos were getting 30 views. Like, it was so sad, and now it's like, you look at a year ago, some of these videos were getting like 20,000 views, and then now they're getting about 500.
Yes, so last year was beautiful for Twin Peaks Video Maker podcast.
It was wonderful, and then it goes away, and guess what? The crowd goes away too, but not the longtime fans. But one thing I've always prided myself on in this channel is you got to speak the truth. You know, I love David Lynch. I've said I adore the man, but I'm not gonna just say a bunch of lies to make everyone feel better. Like, you got to speak honestly, truthfully. You know,
I hope Kyle gets something because I think he deserves something long term. I really hope he does. But I'm with you. I don't see them getting that much, if anything.
That being said, I will say this: the ball has been pushed so far off the cliff now that I don't think it matters anymore. I kept thinking, well, Showtime's gonna wait. Showtime's gonna wait to see what kind of Emmy recognition it gets. I don't care about the wins, but just let's see what kind of nominations. And they may still, but I think the ball has rolled off the cliff because, as I said in my last video, the fact that Sabrina and a bunch of the actors, including Sheryl Lee, are going on a 5-city tour in Australia says to me that season 4 is definitely on its way.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised they announce it when they announce the nominations.
Well, I think they can't because if
it'll be a while, but something will come out.
Let's be honest here. They're doing what, a 25 person autograph signing and presentation at Comic-Con a year after it's over, right? They're there from Friday to Sunday, and they're doing a Saturday night panel. Then they're going on a 5-day Australian tour. Now, why on earth would Showtime pay, let's be conservative, $60,000 for them to fly down there and be able to spend 2 weeks down in Australia and going to presentations and then being able to sightsee themselves and pay for their hotel and probably pay for their appearances maybe too? What would be the incentive of Showtime doing that if Twin Peaks is over? There isn't, because Twin Peaks is not over.
I know just had a big Japanese Blu-ray release. People were sending me pictures of that.
It's not over. And again, people say like, well, season 3 clearly ends. I mean, it's over.
Sure.
Well, you know what? Season 1, ended too. Cooper getting shot.
He's dead. That's it.
Yeah. Season 2 ended. Cooper's possessed, or his doppelganger got out, actually. Fire Walk with Me. Okay, they're trapped in the Black Lodge. Like, every single one ends. And then it comes back.
And then it doesn't.
And then it doesn't. And I'll say this again. I'm not saying it's coming back because of the ending of season 3. If they want to just end it that way, fine. I'm basing it off all of these signs that have been happening for the last year. If Twin Peaks was over, they wouldn't still be talking about it. If David Lynch was just going to go do some new thing for Showtime or Netflix, would the cast of Twin Peaks and Sabrina Starling go on a 5-day Australian tour?
From a practical standpoint, why would they be still shelling out money for Twin Peaks? Just to sell a couple more Blu-rays or stuff from their mediocre merch store? Like, what's the end goal here if they keep trying to push this? I'm just sort of speaking generally. Like, what's the end goal with all this stuff? It's not just to sell more copies of the Blu-ray or posters or something.
Well, here's the thing. So season 3 got announced in 2014. Originally, it was supposed to come out 2016. It got pushed to 2017. But it was announced at that time, 2 years before it was going to come out. I guarantee you, that they're going to say something soon after the Emmys, and they'll say 2020 Twin Peaks season 4. Or 2021 season. Emmys. I'm just saying that, they go, oh, well, Lynch says it won't be for years. Yeah, well, they announced season 3, really 3 years before they even did it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it might be 5 years, but they're going to announce it. It's so ridiculous to me when people say to me, it's over. If it is, great. Then have David Lynch come out and say, that's the end. Oh, someone said, oh, but he did. No, he said, that's the end of season 3. He didn't say that's the end of Twin Peaks.
We don't know what we're going to get next.
No, again, I don't think they're going to do a season 4 like a
straight on kind
no,
of
that we are never going to get 18 episodes, and I'm okay with that. I'd rather settle for I'd rather, or even do 8. You know, I'd rather, when they said they were coming back to just do 9 at the beginning, I was excited because that's the length of season 1, which is considered by a lot of people to be the best season, because it's just it's all killer, no filler. It's perfect.
They do 9 seasons, two seasons, 9 episodes apiece.
Well, that's what I thought we were getting with this. When they announced 18, I thought, well, they said they were going to do 9. Are we getting are they stretching out the 9 to 18, which is what it looks like they did, or they shoot 9 episodes, then we're gonna get the back 9 the next year, and that'll be season 4. Obviously, we just got all in one chunk, but it's not done. It's not done. And you know what? And everyone who says, "Oh, it is," you're gonna come back to this channel when they announce it, and you'll know that I was right. Okay, listen. If it's not done, right? If it's not done, I know this is funny, but if it's not done, then why are all these actors and locations still under NDA contracts?
That too. They're not trying to sell more Blu-rays. I really don't think they're trying to sell more Blu-rays.
I don't think they sold any Blu-rays. Listen, Showtime.
Well, their end goal would be to make money. No,
I don't know. All I know is that Showtime, you know, I don't know who messed up that initial order of Blu-rays, but that was a fiasco when that came out. It's still $55 at Best Buy. They need to bring that sucker down to like $29.99 by now.
$30.
You know, if they want Twin Peaks to pick up steam, they're going to have to lower that price.
Somebody told me it was 180 in Japan.
Yen?
Well, it translated to $180.
Oh wow! Oh my!
I mean, don't quote me on that, but that's what somebody told me the price converts to.
Well, I want to see numbers. Listen. You know, Showtime's been really good to us, so I'm not knocking them, but I would love to see, like you call their store mediocre.
Like you said, we tell the truth here, Ken.
No, I know.
They could do better. They could do better.
I agree. Now, as I've said before, what Showtime should have done for their store was contact a number of people who make their stuff on Etsy and get them in there.
They had some stuff like in physical, like, you know, stores that were cool, but then you go on the online store and it's like, who's making the calls here?
And I don't even know like what they're selling. You know what I mean? Because you look at any of that stuff, and listen, I'm the core audience, and there's nothing in there that I want.
I haven't bought anything from the Showtime store.
So I don't know. That being said, I want to see some
point of contention with me.
I want to see some numbers though. I want to see how many Blu-rays got sold, right? I saw tons of articles saying about how many subscribers they got for Twin Peaks. I want to know how many they lost after Twin Peaks was over. You know, I want to see that. I want to see those numbers.
That red percentage.
What do you think? I mean, do you think the vast majority of people just left Showtime on their cable bill or their streaming bill and went about their life?
People that can afford it. People that can afford it, maybe, but not the vast majority.
I mean, I canceled it.
Mine ran out, I think.
Well,
I had a free trial. I still had a free trial, so that's how I got it. So I was thinking, well, how the heck? See, this is why I thought they were going to do season 3 and season 4 back to back with 9 episodes, because I thought, well, Showtime's getting all these subscribers, they're not going to want to lose those subscribers, right? So why don't we hold them for another year, right? Now Showtime just announced another show, which I can't remember, but that's going to like grab some youth market people. But they need to figure out a way of like how to bring back those Twin Peaks people who left, right? So how do you do that? Well, they're going to have to make an announcement soon, because you can't be doing Twin Peaks pop-up shops 3 years after Twin Peaks: The Return is over. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, you'll get the same 20 people who show up to all of them. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Any New York event I see that happens in New York City, it's always the same faces. Always the same faces.
You go on Facebook, you go on Twitter, it's the same faces over and over again.
Yeah.
Like when they did that whole 119 campaign this last time, which like ended up like blowing up in everyone's faces. The first one went over great. That's the second one they didn't do
November
very,
one.
Yeah. The second one they didn't do very well. And you went through and you like could scroll through and see like how many people were tweeting about it. Wasn't many. It was like the same 30 people over and over and over again. It wasn't like the first 119. There was a lot. There was hundreds.
Pretty sure Christabel tweeted about it. I think Amy Shields did.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is that right now we're back to even just the hardcore. It's just us. It's just the hardcore of the hardcore talking about it, right? Like I remember when these videos would get 150 people watching us live, even for a random thing on a Wednesday. We have 43 wonderful, wonderful people, but these numbers are very low. I had someone contact me the other day and they said, I can't believe you're still at 3,000 something subscribers. You should be higher. He goes, the problem is that you're talking about a dead show. And I was like, well, I've been talking about this dead show for a while, but I understood what he meant.
Yeah. I started talking about other things.
Yeah, but how do those videos do?
Oh, not great.
That's what I'm saying, right? I watched a video on Collider the other day and they said the same thing. They said, we want to do videos about all kinds of stuff, but whenever we do, nobody watches that. But we mentioned Marvel and all of a sudden we start getting thousands of views. And that was the thing about this channel was that anytime I ventured out and talked about other things, nobody watched. Anytime I did a video about Twin Peaks, the numbers were higher.
My most popular video the last month was my video talking about that whole David Lynch Trump thing. Not even Twin Peaks related.
Right. So in a way, it's like if you want us, I mean, listen, I know the people watching this want us to talk about Twin Peaks and David Lynch, but if you guys like our channels and if you like other topics that, then please be sure to watch those other videos because that encourages us to keep doing other videos.
Yeah,
right?
Please. Yeah, it might just sound like we're just talking out of our where, but it's true. It's true.
No, it's totally true. Like I'm might as well keep it real, right?
Yeah, we're keeping it real tonight. This is realness.
Oh, I know. This is. Don't worry, I'm already hated on Doug Puss, so it doesn't matter. You want to know something really funny? Like people on DougPub, people in other like places, other websites, they still have never even mentioned anything with Green Hearts. No. It's like if we just pretend it will go away. So anyway, but let's talk about let's see. Let's talk about this new fan film that's being made though.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's a fan film that is it's called Laura Palmer, a Twin Peaks fan film. Where have I heard that subtitle before? Anyway, it looks all right. This filmed over in Europe somewhere. It's only like a little teaser trailer for it. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it's going to be the first time that a transgender person has ever played Laura Palmer on screen. So that right there gives it some novelty to it. Mm-hmm. It's like their trailer's like 40 seconds long. It looks very beautiful. The town wherever they shot it looks really pretty. But it just made me laugh when I saw the title. It was like Laura Palmer, a Twin Peaks fan film, and it was like in the same lettering as Queen of Hearts with the same with the same green wording and lettering and stuff like that. And then there was another, I can't remember what it was, but there was another one that there was a title for something and it said a Twin Peaks fan film. And so it just made me laugh. It's like Queen of Hearts is just inspiring everybody apparently. So
yeah,
but it's great. It is great to see, because like, listen, for a long time, people would just, if they made Twin Peaks fan films, they were just really quick, really short. And I'm not saying these are long or anything, but just these ones seem like they're kind of geared up to maybe delve into the stories or mythology a little deeper than some other ones that may have come out, which is fun, which is great, so I wish them the best. Hope they're doing well. But yeah, it completely made me laugh. I was like, wow, everyone's getting in the spirit now.
You've inspired a movement.
I've inspired a movement. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, hopefully
stand by for the trailer for my Twin Peaks fan film. One-Eyed Jack's a Twin Peaks fan film.
the first fully X-rated Twin Peaks film ever made. Oh my goodness. You're gonna Joey Pedra starring as Emery Battis, the man who recruited every woman by unicorn.
You want to work at the perfume counter, ladies? That's how you make it in this town.
You could play it as Harvey Weinstein playing Emery Battis.
Oh my god.
That'd be that.
Oh my god.
Anyway, but while we're talking about all the lovely people that watch our channels, I want to give a shout out to some people right now. Now, for those of you who don't know, and I'm sure all of you do know, that are watching live right now, my wife is in the hospital, so I've had to take time off from work and to take care of my son, who is going to be 2 months in 2 days. It's amazing. It's amazing that he's still so happy.
Oh, Mr. C.
I know. Having to live with me for 2 months, I understand. But anyway, so I was going to spend this summer kind of building up this YouTube channel, trying to get it to more subscribers than I have, and build up the Patreon account. And for those of you who don't know, the Patreon account is how you can help support this channel. It's basically like a contribution you can make that, you can put in $1, you can put in whatever you want. And it helps this channel every month just keep going and be able to, obviously if enough people do it, we'll be able to do new things and try new things. And I'll be able to actually put more attention into the channel that sometimes I have time for, because I don't have time with my busy schedule. So that the supporting the channel would help me be able to back off from those other duties to focus on here, because I wouldn't be losing any money.
And you'd want to do new shows and stuff like that, new segments and. Oh,
completely. My dream with this channel would be that every day you would know Monday this show drops, Tuesday this show drops. Because I know some people say, God, sometimes your videos just come out of nowhere, and they do, because I don't know when I have.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I don't know if some news drops, I want to be able to talk about some Twin Peaks news and stuff like that, or whatever. So I just kind of go with the flow. But I would love to be able to set up almost like a TV schedule, and where people could go, hey, I tune in 5 o'clock and this show's on, and whatever like that. And there'd be lots of live shows, and I'd also do a lot of tape stuff, so I could, I'd love to get out of this office here and actually have different locales and things like that. I think that'd be fun. But anyway, so I want to give a shout out to the people who have already supported this channel this month. I just started the Patreon account this month. So if you guys are interested, check the link below on the show notes. It'll take you there. If you don't want to do it, there's also the PayPal account if you want to contribute that way as well. But the people who have contributed to the Patreon, we have Stephanie, Rick, Orc, Jerome, Kendi, Joey, thank you, Joey, yes. Steve, Jack, Ulrich, Jason, Pamela, Brian, Christopher, Norman, Nicholas, Debbie, Sandra, Betty, Jamie, Ben, Cindy, Carolina, Elizabeth, Kirsten, Jonathan, Carrie, and Martin. So thank you so much. You have no idea how much your contributions and support help. It really, really, really means the world to me. And this channel is on its way to growing a little bit each month, but hopefully we can get some more people subscribe to the channel and can grow this, because I really do think that this channel could have a real shot of being something really cool on the
I
internet.
think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
I do.
People have to realize too that like if everybody puts in $1, you know, that's significant. If every subscriber puts in $1,
right? Like I have over 3,000 subscribers. So if every single person that was subscribed put in $1, like I could reduce my work week of the other work I do by 30 hours a week.
That's incredible.
It is. And then think about that. Then I'd be able to put 30 hours a week into this channel. Think about how different that would be alone. It'd be incredible. But anyway, I just want to thank all of you sincerely for all your love and support. I truly appreciate it, and thank you also for being so supportive. Whenever I don't know, it's like I always feel bad, Joey. Like whenever I say anything about Twin Peaks or anything that isn't just 100% like it's perfect, right? I always just feel bad, like I'm letting down the Twin Peaks fans, because I know nobody wants to hear somebody that they enjoy watching say something negative about something they love.
Well, all they have to do is look back at the hundreds at this point, probably, of Twin Peaks videos.
Yeah, almost 300.
That's
almost, yeah.
If that's not love, then
no. And again, it's like if I just walked around and praised everything as a masterpiece, there would be no discussion on this video at all. It would be the most boring. You would never even watch these videos. They would be unbearable to watch. And who wants that? I mean, as I said before, there's a lot of people from the Twin Peaks production that watched these videos when they were making the show. They were watching these videos. I got contacted by several people from the cast and crew that said, thank you, because we know that even when you're critical, you're saying it out of love, not because, you're trying to just be a jerk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love the show. I love the show to death. When I critique it, it's
right.
It's like I feel like I could bully it. It's kind of like your little brother kind of thing. It's like I could tease it, but nobody else could tease it. It's like kind of that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, and it's like, I got criticized the other day on another YouTube video saying, if Cameron loves it, then why does he always say all these things that could be different about it? Because it's a discussion. It's a discussion, And yeah, there are some things about Twin Peaks Season 3 that if you just tweaked a little bit here and a little bit there, yeah, I do think that it would have gone over a little bit better for some people who didn't like it. I do. But that's not the choice they made. And I'm okay with that. But you have to look at it from practical terms, saying if you want everyone to be on board, or another 30% to be on board, if you want the Emmy nominations to be on board, then maybe a little tweak here and there would have pushed it in that direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you should go that way. I'm just saying.
If that's what you want.
Well, it's like in Hollywood, right? Okay, like so when they were doing Wild at Heart, the end of that book, right? Sailor breaks up with Lula and walks away. That's the end of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Sailor kissed Lula goodbye and walked away, and she let him. That's the end. Now, David Lynch has that ending in the movie. It happens. But his ending just goes a little bit further. So you can't argue that David Lynch, you know what? He thought Wild at Heart would be much more commercial if he gave that movie a happy ending. And in fact, he has gone on record to say that he struggled and didn't want to give Wild at Heart a happy ending because he didn't want it to be commercial. But I'm telling you that if that movie ended with Sailor just walking away from Lula, that movie would not be as loved as it is today.
It would have left a sour taste. Yeah.
You can't have her wait 5 more years from him in prison, and then he just dumps her.
I never read the book, but I feel like the Sailor and Lula David Lynch presented were like eternal, like soulmates.
Right. Sure. Well, David Lynch also asked Barry Gifford, the writer, because Barry Gifford has written, I don't know, I'm making an overstatement here, but I think he's written like 26 books in the Sailor and Lula Chronicles,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
So he asked Barry Gifford, do they ever get back together? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, fine. So anyway, so David Lynch did not change the ending of the book, A Wild at Heart. He just went
Accelerated.
He went 5 minutes past the book. And you know what? Wild at Heart is not a commercial movie in any way, shape, or form. But with that ending, it makes the movie like feel like it was worth sitting through.
Mm-hmm.
When Sailor Ripley, and it's not like he just goes, Lula, I want to be with you now, and that's the end of the movie. No, he tied it all in with Glenda the Good Witch, and then bringing up the Im Abendroth music again, and having Sailor run over the cars, and Lula on top of the car with the broken nose, and then he sings her "Love Me Tender," and it's like, could you end a movie any more perfect than that? Like, it's just perfect.
It's so bizarre, but so beautiful, and like I wouldn't change it.
Is it bizarre? I mean, the whole movie's bizarre. But it fits in that world.
No, yeah. That's what I mean.
It doesn't come out of nowhere. I mean, because
it gives you the same feeling as like a rom-com would, like your favorite Nora Ephron movie, but like a whole different journey, a very different journey to that.
Right, and that's what I'm getting at. Is like David Lynch didn't do that to be commercial, but by doing that ending, he made Wild at Heart more appreciated. Listen, I'll tell you one thing: if Sailor Ripley dumps Lula and walks away, that movie does not win the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. The reason why that movie won the Palme d'Or is because of the whole package and the fact that Sailor and Lula were together, and having him sing her "Love Me Tender" while the camera swirls around them while they're on the hood of a car in the middle of a traffic jam. That's what wins at the Palme d'Or. So that's what I'm saying. You either there's an old adage in Hollywood: you can have the money or the awards. You pick one. So, I'm anxious to see which way the wind blows for this current incarnation of Twin Peaks. All right. So, okay. But speaking of the Patreon, I have to bring this up. Now, Joey, you have a Patreon account as well.
I do.
Right? Okay. Are you in any position yet with your followers, or subscribers, I should say? It makes it sound like we're a cult. Are you in any position, because I'm not, are you in any position to afford $25,000 a month?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, it's too bad, because for $25,000 a month, you can rent Kyle MacLachlan's house.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. In Los Angeles, California, you get 2,700 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a guest house. So it's Kyle MacLachlan, 1991 Golden Globe winner for Twin Peaks, and a 2018 Golden Globe nominee for the reprise, seeks a well-financed tenant willing and able to shell out $25,000 per month to lease his fully furnished mini compound in the foothills above Hollywood. The Blue Velvet and Desperate Housewives star purchased the property in 1991 while dating Lara Flynn Boyle for just under $800,000, and has made the property available several times, including in 2014 when it was available for only $20,000 a month.
He's upped it.
He's upped it. So for $25,000 a month, you can have Kyle MacLachlan as your landlord. So come on. So listen, people. Get Joey's Patreon going.
Yeah.
So him and Danielle can move into Kyle's house, and they can shoot tons of videos of Kyle MacLachlan coming to their door saying, "Why don't you pay your rent?"
So. Give me the rent, buddy.
He would come to the door as Mr. C. You know what I mean? Be like, Joey, where's my payment? I don't need. I want it.
Does it come fully stocked with Perused by Bear wines, or else no deal?
I guarantee it probably does. I'll bet you if you say, listen, for $25,000, would you stock it with wine? He'd be like, yeah, sure. Of course.
I mean, I really like that wine, so.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. we have. I mentioned the Comic-Con thing. Okay, first of all, San Diego Comic-Con 2018. Here is the first toy they're giving out. Apparently, Kyle MacLachlan said this looks ugly. I can't confirm that, but I've heard through the rumor grapevine that Kyle MacLachlan thought this wasn't very good.
I mean,
would you stand in line to get this?
Probably not.
I gotta tell you, last year I was all about the Cooper Black Lodge Laura Pop Funkos. This does not make me excited as
that was cool. The Funkos look cool. I like the Funkos.
No, but the Black Lodge Cooper ones with Laura, that was like, I want to get that, right? This, like, I know there's Twin Peaks fans that may want it, and that God bless you, but I would not stand in line for 3 hours to get this.
Take the coffee out of his hand, and who is he?
I don't know who.
I don't know. Some FBI guy.
Now, here's the next one. This one was brought up to me the other day by somebody. This is evolution of the tree, like puppet or something.
Okay, I ordered 2. It looks ridiculous.
Why? Look at this thing.
It's okay. So the pre-order is like $8, and I was like, "Screw this! It is so."
Where did you pre-order this thing?
Entertainment Earth.
Okay, everybody look at this. Listen, we all love Twin Peaks. Would you buy this?
It is. I don't understand what the thought process. I have such a problem with the Twin Peaks merch. I just have so many. Oh, God.
But this isn't Twin Peaks merch from Showtime. This is Comic-Con exclusive.
Oh, jeez.
This thing's not going to be any bigger in your hand.
Maybe I'll give one away. I ordered 2.
Oh, I thought you were going to give one to Danielle.
I wouldn't. No.
Oh.
No, unless she absolutely wants it. But I have a feeling maybe not.
I don't know. I look at that, and God bless you if you want it, but I look at those and I go, no.
It seems like a joke.
It seems like a year later, there should be some like crazy something you give out at Comic-Con, you know?
Yeah. They dialed it back.
Oh, that's an understatement. Yeah, it's so bizarre. I don't know. Again, you know, to each his own. But that does not, as a Twin Peaks fan, that does not excite me.
No, I'm very confused by it. I just don't understand the logic. There's so many things they could do with Twin Peaks, and they just don't. Why make the evolution of the arm? Why?
I don't know. I maybe because I just think it's fun to do. I don't know. Like,
why not make like a Jeffrey's teapot or something? We came up with all those great ideas for merch that one day.
That was hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, it's like I like Twin Peaks stuff, but I don't want to like decorate my whole house with a bunch of nonsense either, you know?
I don't know. I have so many feelings.
All right, so did you see Anna's new article that she wrote?
I have not.
6 most memorable scenes from The Return from her point of view. So this is what Anna has written on her latest article on geeks.media. These are her 6 most memorable scenes. Number 1, Cooper saves Laura. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Number 2, when he meets the old lady at the restaurant with the Mitchum brothers. Number 3, the introduction to Diane with the camera like moving towards her back at the bar. Number 4, Bill Hastings being killed by the woodsman.
Okay.
Number 5, Audrey's dance. And number 6, the death of the log lady.
Oh, okay.
Would any of those 6 be in your top 6 moments?
I don't know.
I don't really have top 6 moments, at the moment, but
Well, no,
but I do agree. I do agree that restaurant scene is great, and I do think that the Laura Palmer scene in the woods is fantastic.
I really like the restaurant scene, and that was like the first. Wasn't it the first episode where we actually got like new Angelo Badalamenti music?
I don't know if that was the first, but I mean, it definitely was. It definitely was a highlight moment. And there's one moment in that music where he hits this one note, and you swear to God that it's gonna kick in the Laura Palmer theme.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And because I thought, oh my God, are they gonna go that meta and play the Laura Palmer theme, and Cooper recognizes it?
And then a couple episodes later, they do Audrey's Day.
Exactly. So, anyway. We have some wonderful people watching us, so let's go through and give a shout out to everyone watching. Daduda's here, Gary's here, Hal's here, Cosmic Frags. Is it Cosmic Frags? It's an interesting name. Wilton, Jason, Adam. He says hello there. Kyle says now we can reflect on Twin Peaks as a whole. The return is no longer new. With the excitement and patience out of the way, there's only room to enjoy and process everything. Let's rock. Kyle says the real award is that this even got on television.
Whoa. Huh.
That's pretty true.
Yeah.
Wilton says, Twin Peaks fans, forever alone. Strenuous Orb says, all I care. Listen, let me tell you something. Back in the day, you were alone. Okay. We had the internet today, right? We had a lot of people talking, and we, I brought in a bunch of people from other YouTube channels, and we just made this really awesome network last summer. But I'm telling you, back in 1990, let me tell you something. Everybody else in my school was watching 90210.
Yeah.
And me and 2 other people were watching Twin Peaks, and of course I was friends with them. We were not necessarily looked down upon, but nobody ever asked us, hey, what's that Twin Peaks about? The only time someone ever asked me about Twin Peaks was a year early 1993, when somebody rented Fire Walk with me at my school, and then came up to me and said, I watched that Twin Peaks movie. That was weird. Why do you watch that nonsense? So that was my Twin.
Sounds about right.
Right. I had one other kid come up to me named Mario, who came to me after episode 16 where Leland dies. He came up to me at school and said, I caught the ending of that Twin Peaks show on Saturday. Is it over? And I said, no, it's not over. And he goes, well, they wrapped up the murder mystery. What else are they going to do? Which is hilarious because he completely anticipated what everybody else says, for the next 25 years. But I thought it was funny when a 14-year-old comes up to me and says, is it over? All right. Okay. Strenuous Orb says, all I care about is Kyle winning. I would love to see the show get recognized for other stuff, but I have no hope for anything else. Yeah,
I want to see Kyle win.
Twin Peaks Outside the City Limit says, Peaks forever. Emmys or no Emmys. Senate Kill says it only deserves one nomination for Kyle. Maybe episode 8 for directing as well. Strenuous Orb says, The Return is my favorite show I've seen in forever, but I hate when people say stuff like that. I'm assuming when she calls everyone stupid in the article. Kyle says, people get defensive about things they're passionate about. Matt says, if episode 8 is submitted for the best director category, then Lynch deserves a nomination. I won't be surprised if he doesn't receive one, but 8 was described by many as the best episode of 2017. Listen, I know the whole thing is supposed to be taken as a whole. Do you think episode 8 is the best episode of the season?
The best episode? It's definitely the standout. I don't know if it's like in.
Well, you know why it stands out? Because it doesn't really connect.
It's just like sort of like an eyegasm.
It's like a this is gonna sound maybe harsher than it is, but it's like a placeholder in the middle. Because if you look at 18 hours, it's like right in the middle. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like the intermission hour. I think the atom bomb stuff and the woodsman stuff I think is great. I'm still not entirely sold on the the taking over of the radio station.
Yeah, well, I don't know what that came out to.
Well, it doesn't really, nothing happens. He kills everybody in the radio station, then walks into the darkness. Now, I like him walking into darkness and then hearing the horse and then the credits roll. That's cool. I'm just not, I think that the killing of everybody in the radio station, while it's shot well, I just think that it sets us up for something that never happens, which is you think the woodsmen are going to come when Sarah starts talking about men are coming.
Mm-hmm.
You're led to believe that these woodsmen are coming to kill everybody under Judy's command or something.
That's what I thought.
Well, that's the way it's heading, and we don't get that, which is fine. But episode 8 sets you up for a massacre because they walk into this town and kill everybody. So you're thinking, oh my God, are they going to show up at the end of Twin Peaks and just start killing everybody?
I thought they were going to kill everybody in Twin Peaks. Yeah.
I thought they were going to kill everybody in the sheriff's station. And then I thought Freddy with his glove was going to be able to protect everybody by squashing their heads with his glove. I thought that's where we were going. I really did. But we didn't. Remember when I told that to Jake on the video, and he goes, "Oh, that would have been bloody brilliant."
Yeah. I think my favorite episode is probably 3.
Why?
I've watched that one the most for some reason. That's the purple episode, I call it.
Yeah, I honestly think, I
call for help.
Two is strong because you get that whole Daria motel scene.
Mm-hmm.
4 is strong because you get more humor at the casino. You get the Dougie at breakfast scene, and then you get the interrogation followed by the blue scene. 4 is pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I like 3 or 4. Like those are my probably top 2.
Well, that's why I was so overwhelmed that first night when I watched 1 through 4 right in a row. I was like, "This is fantastic!"
Yeah.
Oh my God, that I think that video has the most views of any video I've ever done. That instant live reaction when I did. Kyle says season 2 opens and closes strong. Also, Nadine thought she was a teenager. Dick Tremaine and the Big James scandal. Let's see.
Confederate Ben Horn. That's my favorite.
Strenuous Orb says, ever hear Brad Duke's podcast? All he did was bash people who liked the return and call us a bunch of sycophants. It cut both ways. Well, there was also the people who did that. What was that show called? I can't remember, but they did like a 3-hour finale. Yeah. What was that one? Anyway, they hated it too. I was shocked that Brad Dukes came out on Twitter after episode 8 and said that James and Evelyn episodes were better than episode 8. I was shocked because Brad Dukes, I mean, listen, we do videos about Twin Peaks, but Brad Dukes like built his like actual writing career off Twin Peaks by writing that book Reflections, which is a very good book. But for him to come out and make like such a like middle finger statement to that, I was like, wow, I don't know about you following up. Because I remember when I talked to him at the time when he was promoting Reflections, I said, are you going to do a book about Fire Walk with me or something? He's like, oh, maybe I might do that. But he runs, he's one of the people who runs or admins on DugPa. So, there it is. You have an admin on DugPa who.
But I don't understand what the hate for episode 8. It fits in with the theme of the whole return.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never talked to him publicly about it. He, I don't know. He just
it made sense to me. It was so.
He's one of those. He's one of those Twin Peaks elites out there. That, like I said, there's the Twin Peaks elites of which we are not.
No,
it's not even close.
I don't want to be.
The Twin Peaks elites, like, don't like us. And if they do like us, they certainly never tell us they like us. They just either ignore us or I've heard they talk shit about us behind our backs. But there's the elites up here, and then there's like us way down here, right? So, but he is one of them. So when he came out and made that statement, that would be like Mark Kermode or something like that, like somebody well respected within a community saying something. I didn't mean to equate him with Mark Kermode, but you know what I mean. I'm just trying to say he's high in the Twin Peaks establishment elite squad. Whenever you see the Twin Peaks elites get together for like a picture, he's in there. So when you have one of them coming out against episode 8, which is a very well respected episode and so strong that they submitted it for an Emmy nomination.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear more clarification. And no, I'm not gonna listen to the podcast. So, but I don't know. It's really interesting. But you know, there are people out there who, if they don't like Twin Peaks, they also don't like us either.
I definitely could see an angle why you would hate Part 8, but it makes sense. I think, it's an interesting episode. You could say it's just Lynch screwing around in his studio, like putting lights through paint.
But you know what, though? I would be the first one to say that because of how I feel about Inland Empire. And even then, I look at episode 8 and I say, if you don't like episode 8, like he made the thing about James and Evelyn versus episode 8, I'll say this grandiose statement. If you don't like episode 8 in any way, shape, or form, it's because you don't quite understand what Twin Peaks is about.
That's what I'm saying. It made sense. It made complete sense to me to be there.
Anyway, I didn't mean to bring up Brad Dukes, but someone in the comments did. So if anyone goes and reports, hey, Brad Dukes, they were talking about you on the video today.
I mean, I don't really know who he is.
So. All right. Well, anyway, he's somebody who talked to me one time back in 2014 and has been, he's part of the groups that, we will not talk about Queen of Hearts. We will not mention Cameron. We will not mention Obnoxious and Anonymous. Anyone who does will get banned. He's one of those people. So anyway, good luck with everything. But all right. Kyle says, poor Brad Dukes. He longs to create and will lash out at anyone who has actually produced something. Critics.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't say that. That was Kyle.
Oh, jeez.
I just want to say that. I'm just reading the chat. Kamari says, I think people can say Lynch is a better director because he brings his A game, even when it comes to simple stuff like conversations. Most other directors revert to shot reverse shot. No, I agree. Look at that breakfast scene where Kyle comes walking in with the tie around his head. Right. It's so perfectly paced with that jazz music and just the way he's, Sonny Jim's just looking at him like, what the hell? And he's like trying to figure out how to cut his pancakes. And
almost any other time you hear that music, it's usually like some cool guy. So I think it's in Sandlot. I watched the other day. I think it's in there too. So like it's something like kind of cool happening, but it's like this like dopey dude in a like pea green suit with a tie around.
Just the way he's like, hi. Fantastic. Okay, Strenuous Orb says, what's great about the Lynch episode, the original run, isn't just what happens in them, it's the way he stages the action, the lighting, the pacing, the sound design. Oh, it's true. And you knew that. See, listen, it's the same thing when you watched Buffy. Okay, you knew when Joss Whedon was directing an episode versus another director because him running the show allowed for more time, better lighting, better special effects. Everybody tried a little bit harder when the creator is directing the episode, but here we had Lynch directing the whole thing. So Kyle says the scene in season 2 where Harry and Cooper try to figure out the footstool as they attempt to question Ronette is one of my favorites. It is funny. Matt says episode 29 wouldn't be what it is without Lynch's revisions of the script. Very true. Very, very true. And he actually saved that finale. We've talked about that before. Kyle says, yeah, wasn't there a scene where Wyndham Earle was a crazed dentist in the script? Actually, it was Bob, but also in the script, Wyndham Earle tried to rape Annie. No. Thank God Lynch took that out.
Yeah, that doesn't, no.
It doesn't work, and it's gross. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't fit within the character at all. You know,
Yeah, that removes all of his intent.
right? 402 says, yeah, the Red Room in season 3 wasn't very good. Kyle says, can we talk about what happened in the return? Time travel, alternate timelines, the idea that people continue to age in the Black Lodge. That's well, we just did. We've talked about that before in other shows, but it's a good topic. I'm just trying to blow through this chat here, guys. Sorry. Let's see. 402 says the Emmys will not recognize Twin Peaks at all. Guess we'll find out July 12th. Mr. C. Okay. Kyle says we get to see a murky image more clearly for a moment until it is expanded and distorted into something murkier. Okay. Strenuous Orb says the original script for season 2 finale is horrendous. Lynch was right to scrap the majority of it. Yes, he was. Gary says, have you seen the Japanese trailer for the season 3 Blu-ray on YouTube? No, I have not. Have you?
No, somebody just showed me the stands full of the Blu-rays. I haven't seen the trailer.
Okay. So I need to see that ASAP.
Yeah, so do I.
That sounds fantastic. Kamari says, have Mark and David even had time to write a new season? At most, they've only had a little over a year. Well, no. Get a lot done. They could have been writing during post-production, which was over a year. So they might have 2 years, 402 says, if there's a season 4, I hope it is different than season 3. I hope it all takes place in Twin Peaks. Sorry, my nose is itching. David says, I have a feeling the next season most likely will be in Twin Peaks, given the season 3 ending. I think Lynch will want to center it around Laura Palmer, just a hunch. Well, I don't think they're going to do that. I think what they would do, because first of all, they've already made this thing worldwide, right? I think they'll go back up and they'll shoot some stuff up there. But look what happened when they went up there and shot before, right? They had everybody up there, there were a lot of respectful people. I want to make this very clear. There were a lot of respectful people up there that took pictures, that did not release anything until after the show was over. Mm-hmm. But there were also a lot of pricks that got on there and started sharing them on DugPa and other places, trying to show how cool they are, that they got on set and got to shoot all these pictures and that type of thing. And they actually ruined it because there were scenes supposed to be shot in Washington, right? That got pulled because they ruined it by shooting the whole ending by periscoping live the ending of season 3 on Twitter. Absolutely insane. So, oh my God, my poor nose. Let's see. Kyle says, I watched the trailer in Japanese. It makes me want to see it all over again. Well edited. Well, darn it. I wish I
want to really see it.
I wish I could show it on here. I wish that's another thing that would go towards the Patreon. I want to get those setups where when people start suggesting things like that, I can pull it up on a screen and be able to play it for all of us in the, watching. Mm-hmm. That would be amazing. 402 says, keep Twin Peaks in Twin Peaks. Lisa says, I really want it centered in Twin Peaks again. David says, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw no scenes in Vegas in the next series. I think the plot ended the moment Dougie returned to Janie E in the finale. I agree with you, David. I agree with you. But they have wiggle room, which is Janie E is the half-sister of Diane, and Diane was involved with Cooper in the finale of 18. So they could bring Janie E back that way if they absolutely wanted to.
And if Janie E has another child.
That's maybe. Wilton says, Twin Peaks in space, bring it on. That's awesome. Oh, we got a hello from Russia. That's fantastic. Thank you for watching us. 402 says, I love Twin Peaks, but my enthusiasm has waned. I just think I have just listened to the same thing over and over again. Daniel says, the show is not dead. It's on my mind constantly. 402 says, no Tammy in season 4.
Oh.
Kyle says, listen, I have been critical of Christabel in season 3, although I do think that she does get better as the show goes on. But at the beginning, I wasn't too sure about her.
Yeah.
That being said, Christabel did something that she did not have to do, Joey. She publicized the Queen of Hearts campaign. And she told everybody on Twitter, if you ever wanted to save Annie Blackburn, now is your chance.
Yeah.
So I don't care if Christabel does.
She's a sweetheart. Oh,
I don't care if Christabel does all the and walks away and overacts a scene. I don't care anymore. Christabel is always going to be on my good side for that.
That though was so like he's dead. I love that so much. That reaction, like they've been spending way too much time together.
Yeah.
He's dead. It still cracks me up.
Shenya's Orb says, I do wish you would talk more about what's great about the return. Seems like you're pretty negative in most of these videos since the show ended. Oh, that's so not true. Go back and watch all the other episodes I do where I'm basically loving everything. So do I really need to make a video? 100 things I loved about Twin Peaks The Return.
Maybe you should. Maybe the number in the title will get more people to watch.
Yeah.
Top 10 things I loved about The Return.
Yeah. Let's see. Kyle says, Cameron, I don't think people find your comments upsetting. They are well-informed reactions and responses. Matt says, how about a fan film, My Dinner with Jacques Renault? Oh,
God.
That'd be awesome. No, you just call it Bite the Bullet, Baby.
Bite the
Twin Peaks fan film.
Baby.
Yeah. Let's see. Jamie's here.
What's up, Jamie?
I think Jamie lives for seeing a pop-up in her email saying that we're live. I agree, Kyle. He says we need a fan film that shows the events of Twin Peaks from Joey Paulson's perspective. That's great. Let's see. Stephanie's here. 402 says, I think Lynch was messing with the audience when it came to Dougie. Orc's here. Great to see you, Orc. Wilton says, I don't want Kyle MacLachlan as my landlord. Gary North says the worst landlord ever would be Frank Booth. Matt says Kyle's house has gravity boots installed in every bedroom. What the hell is gravity? What the hell is gravity boots?
I don't like. Is that a Jetsons reference? I don't
know. Stephanie goes for the hardcore here. She says for $25,000 a month, Kyle MacLachlan better come with the house.
I think he spends a lot of his time in New York.
Yeah. Emma says, oh, you guys are forgetting in episode 16, Diane has her big breakdown about the rape. And that was one of the best scenes in the whole series. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, if anything is going to cinch the nominee for Laura Dern for submitting episode 16, it'll be that. Because, again, I think that the beginning of her character and the end of her character in this season, strong entrances, strong exits. But once she gets on that plane or sits in the waiting rooms and stuff like that, she's not bad. She's just not given very much to do. So I didn't think Laura Dern was bad at all. I just think that I just kept waiting for something big to happen to her throughout the season. 402 says the best scene in the series is the last scene, which you saw 2 years earlier on Periscope on Twitter. Matt says, I can't wait for the Johnny Horn Funko Pop. Oh, yeah.
Hello, Johnny.
Let's see. Lights Above says that the tree evolution of the arm looks like the baby Groot toy.
It does. I am the evolution.
Yeah. Let's see. They're all saying Kyle won't win. Wow.
And we're negative. Jeez.
Rosenfield 10 says "Igasm." So I guess you got his attention with that. You got his attention with that. Janie Michelle says, one of my favorite scenes is the outdoor smoking scene with Cole, Diane, and Tammy. Nothing is said, but so much is conveyed through gesture. I freaking loved it. It is a good scene. It clearly, again, shows you that Cole and Tammy were in a relationship, or at least having something on the side.
Something.
That's why he's with that model lady in his room, and that's why Albert comes to the door, not Tammy, because if you watch the behind the scenes, he makes it clear that he did not invite Tammy because he wants to keep the women in his life separate. All right. 402 says, yeah, there's lots of things that are set up in season 3 that never happened. Let's see. Daniel says episode 8 is my favorite visually. Well, I think that makes sense. I mean, it's the one episode that's almost shot like a silent movie, where it's just the whole thing's visual.
I forgot the name of the director that used to do like the slides like that of like bugs and stuff that he kind of pulled from.
Strenuous Orb says episode 3 is incredible. The whole casino scene with the jackpots might be my favorite in the whole season. Yeah, but it also continues in 4, so Strenuous Orb says Brad Deuce called episode 8 a screensaver. Wow. Like he just doubled and tripled and quadrupled down. Everyone's like, I am proudly unelite. Well, that's what we are.
I love you guys.
We are all proudly unelite, and that's why and that's why things like Queen of Hearts and stuff don't get talked about on big websites, because they don't like us. They'll never tell that to our faces. They'll never tell that to our faces, but so
good Lord.
Matt says some people discount the supernatural episodes and prefer scenes more grounded in reality. Daniel says, Elite, you have me as a subscriber. You are the Illuminati. I don't know if that's a compliment or what, Daniel. But thank you. Smells Like Blu-ray says episode 8 makes season 3 lose sight of seasons 1 and 2. Well, it definitely takes it up an epic notch.
Oh yes,
I think that was kind of the point of it. Let's see here. Hal says, I want to see Twin Peaks and Fargo. Tony says Christabel is great. Let's see. Rosenfield 10 says he wants to go back to Vegas to hang out with Sonny Jim and them. Let's see.
Sonny Jim is really good in everything I've seen him in.
Jorbs 150 says, do we know why Onking didn't return? Not officially. I think the official thing was said that he was retired, but I have my own reasons why I think. Do you have a reason why you think Michael Onking didn't come back?
I figured that he just didn't want to do it.
Well, I'll go a step further. I think David Lynch told him about his character, and he said, so I'm not going to be with Cooper. I'm just going to be sitting in the sheriff's station and have a nagging wife yelling at me. And then I don't do anything, and I get my hat shot off my head, and then I don't do anything. I don't get off the desk. David, it's okay. I think I'll stay in Hawaii.
Yeah, I wouldn't get up for that either. I don't blame
him. Because if you see the behind the scenes things, you see David Lynch talking to the actors on the phone beforehand, telling them what their part is. So I can see him, because remember, Michael Onking was grooving to finding his jacket, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's not going to do it. So the only thing I can think of is either something came up, or he got wind or about what was happening. David told him what the character was, and he was like, this isn't why I would come back for this. So, but I like the fact that no matter what, they didn't kill him off. I thought they were going to, but they didn't. And they just made it the brother, which is great. So that gives Michael Onking the ability to come back.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. At least they didn't take it as like a snub, and they said, fine, we're going to make, remember for a while, people thought Robert Forster was going to beat Harry Truman.
I was worried they might do that kind of switch, which would have been
Well, it
in
made
poor
sense.
taste.
They did. Well, they did that with Maura Kelly, with
Yeah,
Donna.
that worked out.
Well, the argument was that Robert Forster was supposed to be Harry Truman before anyway.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and then Michael Onkin got cast in the
Oh.
original. So that was the argument, but I'm glad it came out the other way where it was the brother. I really do.
Yeah.
Oh, Juggernaut says Cooper wears gravity boots when he is hanging upside down. Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Is that what gravity boots are? I thought he was just. That's pretty weird.
Oh, duh. Wow.
Let's see. 402 says, what did Lynch tell Fenn her part was? How did he explain to her since none of it makes much sense? Well, I think from what we know, he told her what was in pretty much in Mark Frost's book, The Final Dossier.
Mm-hmm.
And then she did not want to be, from what I understand, she was supposed to be accosted by her son, not the grandmother. And she didn't want to do that scene. So that forced Lynch to take her plot line. And if you look at Frost's book and look at what they did with Audrey, it kind of is that story. It's just, it's like, okay, well, she got married to this other guy. And then she opened up, a hairdressing salon. And then, all this stuff. And it's like, if she is crazy or she's being kept somewhere or wherever, yeah, she would be, thinking that she'd be replaying conversations she would have with her husband that she just married for money to because of her son and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can kind of see the threads of Mark Frost's chapter about her.
Oh, for sure.
In what they finally did with Audrey. It's just not as straightforward.
Yeah.
So
I had no problems with Audrey. I think I get it.
I have no problem with that story. I do have a problem with the writing of some of that story. That first scene is like 13 minutes of the longest.
I'm so sleepy, Audrey.
Look, I know some people really love that scene, and I'm happy for you if you love that scene. That was truly like one of the most agonizing things ever. And not because it was slow paced at all. The swearing seemed so forced. And there was like, it just came out of nowhere, and I'm supposed to care about nothing. And they kept talking about this stuff for 13 straight minutes about, I don't know who these people are or what they're talking about. And I didn't care. Now, as it went on, I warmed up more because the scenes were not that long and they were better written and they were better acted. That first scene, I know some people really like it, but that first scene is could be one of the most unwatchable like parts of David Lynch's canon I've ever seen.
I think I get what he was trying to do, but
I know what he was trying to do. I just don't think the writing and the acting on Sherilyn's part sold it. That scene at most should have been 3 minutes long, 4 minutes long, not 13.
Talking about how he's sleepy for 10 minutes.
I mean, people love it, and that's great. I just listen. If someone said
hysterical in the second watch, I thought I was cracking up.
Well, sure, because you now know what to expect. But I'm saying that first time sitting there, it was like
I was probably squinting at my TV, like, am I missing something?
Well, I gotta tell you, it seemed like, I mean, the first time you see it, like I was intrigued because I'm like, why the heck is David Lynch giving a giant middle finger to Audrey and all her fans? Like, I you know what I mean? Like, I know there's like this big Audrey movement where everyone will love everything she does, but when that scene happened, there were so many Audrey fans who were so pissed off because they were set up by those Entertainment Weekly covers, and that, oh, we're gonna have Cooper and Audrey together. What is she doing with this weird accountant dude that and I thought that Lynch kind of shot her very unflatteringly and really made her look scarred and old. And I don't think she really looks like that bad. I've seen her in other shows lately.
A lot of the angles that I don't know if you noticed were like kind of sort of upward facing. I know it's supposed to be from Charlie's angle, but it was kind of just like not straight on, not even a little bit. It was just a little bit further down and kind of up at her, which doesn't help.
No, and again, like I said, as her scenes went on, I thought it got better, and of course you get the big payoff at the end at the with the whole reveal and all that. But even though it's not really a payoff, it is a payoff because at least you can go, whew, at least all that was just some sort of mind thing because boy, that was awful. But that first scene is like you said, maybe on rewatches it's funny and that type of thing. But that first time, it was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, we're waiting for Audrey all that time.
I wasn't waiting for Audrey. I could give a shit about Audrey Horne showing up or not. But at least when she shows up, like not even an establishing shot. It was just like boom,
a cut, and then
it was just there's Audrey, old and haggard, and it was like oh my, like and then after that scene, like you understood those tweets where she came out and she's like, "What the hell is this thing?" Like everyone was like, "I'm with you, Sherilyn. What did they do to you?"
Yeah. There's so much more you could have done with Audrey,
but listen, even if they decided to do what they did, that scene should never have been 13 minutes long. That felt like it was stretched out to stretch it out, and not everything needs to be stretched out. We know when Lynch, there's that famous clip that goes around with he's directing Candy and the Fly, and he goes, "Who the hell cares how long a scene is?" I get it; it's funny, it's amusing, but there is some truth about it. Like, not every scene needs to go on for eternity. If it is going to go on for eternity, make it interesting, make it entertaining, listen, you have two characters, one we haven't seen in a while, one we don't know, all talking about plot that we have no clue what the heck they're talking about. Right? So it's 13 minutes of us being completely disengaged.
And then it's just a name, Billy. Then Billy became the thing. It wasn't even about Audrey then. It was about Billy.
Forget about Laura Palmer. Billy is the one in this show.
Yeah. Who's Billy?
They kept saying Laura is the one. No, Laura's the opening of the credits, and that's it. Like, I heard more about Billy in this season than I did Laura Palmer. And remember when remember that when they come running in the restaurant in the double R and they go, they say, "Where's Billy?" But it says, "Where's Bing?"
Yeah.
And Sabrina had to go on social media and be like, "They messed up the subtitles," which is kind of funny because you would think that like all of those things would have been
quadruple checked.
Well, the way Lynch works, you would think it would be. So, but they fixed it for the Blu-ray though.
Bing.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. There's now everyone's in the chat telling me that I'm wrong, that Audrey's first scene's awesome. So again, like I agree, maybe on a second rewatch, third rewatch, and I've watched it enough, but that I'm speaking just from the point of view of that first time. I was like, not that I wasn't complaining about, oh well, they didn't take Audrey's character the way I thought they were gonna take her. It had nothing to do with that. It was just like this scene seems off. That's all. And like
you rewatch it, it's like anytime he talks about how sleepy he is, you just crack up. I mean, I do.
I know, but I just don't like giving her like all those swear words because it just doesn't fit Audrey. Like maybe a few of them, but
she doesn't swear in Fire Walk with Me.
She's not in Fire Walk with Me.
Right.
Come on, Joey.
Now I'm trying to like dig to see if yeah, no. There's not even like a moment where she stops to almost swear or says heck or something.
Matt says, I wish Frost wouldn't have killed Leland in the final dossier because that means we won't see him in season 4 if Lynch follows the final dossier. Oh, don't forget, Sabrina came out and said Lynch has nothing to do with the final dossier. So They could easily rework it. As Lynch told Ray Wise, you may be dead, but there are ways around it. So
I hope so.
Strenuous Orb says, I appreciate all the Audrey scenes much more on the rewatch. Very tense and sad.
Now I'm trying to think about who cursed the most in Fire Walk with Me.
Fire Walk with Me. Well, no, Laura probably did, but Bobby cusses twice, I think. Jorb says, I'm good with the little mystery, but seasons 1 and 2 still fundamentally made sense. I thought Frost would keep Lynch from being too mysterious and abstract. You thought wrong. Everybody got lynched. Freddie says, waiting for so long, and then that. Stranger's Orb says, the only scene that strikes me as way too long is the bunny scene with Hawk, Lucy, and Andy. Not funny enough to justify the length. I may agree with you on that. I thought that scene was fine if it had been maybe half the length, but at the length that it was at, it's a little too long. What do you think, Joey?
I don't know. I like that scene. I like that scene the way it is, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just like looking at Hawk just kind of.
You know what I think. You know what I think it really comes down to is not so much the length of the scenes. I think what calls the attention to the length of those scenes is the absence of Badalamenti music. If there was more music spread throughout the series, maybe those long scenes wouldn't have felt so long because it wouldn't have felt like dead air.
Yeah, a lot of them are just quiet. Just quiet.
That's the thing. Like if Audrey and Charlie were doing their little thing in the first scene, but you had, dung 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 like underneath them or something like that, like maybe it would have carried 13 minutes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But without it, when they're just sitting there talking about the bunny and it's just dead quiet in there.
Just like maybe like a snare, like tapping like a cymbal, like that. Like while they're talking, and it has kind of points, like, and then.
Yeah. And I'm not saying wall to wall, but I'm saying there are moments where a little music would have maybe not had some of these scenes felt quite so long. You know,
they have so much great music. They could have used any of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and Badalamenti like released like 2 or 3 like albums of like unused music too. You know, so. Rosenfield 10 says the French girl scene was the one that bothered me the most.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it either.
Yeah, that's the one if I had one, that's the one I didn't need.
I know a lot of people think it's I know people all think it's cute and funny. I thought it was a little strange because she just kept looking like Isabella Rossellini. And I was like, this is really disturbing in a little bit of ways. You know what I mean?
Very much like her.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then it just kept going on and on, which I know is the point.
Mm-hmm.
But, it'd be one thing if there was like 1 or 2 moments in the series like that. But like almost every episode had a scene that went on a little long. And again, I get it, right? I get it. Not everything has to be, Michael Bay's Speed. But there are little things you could do, like maybe for every 5 of them you do, put music on one of them. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just to kind of not make it all kind of feel long.
Would be interesting, like doing a little scene thing and just cutting maybe the Audrey scene and throwing some different kinds of Twin Peaks music in there to see how the mood changes.
There's a guy on YouTube that did that for a while during season 3. He would he took scenes and put in some of the music from season 1, season 2. Some of them sounded really good. Like really good. And again, I'm not saying that like, it should have been wall to wall, but I think we could all say that maybe season 3 could have benefited from a little bit more Badalamenti music.
I would have loved it.
Especially the way they promoted him in the initial teasers, showing him on the piano with the trees and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for sure, we're going to get a lot of music. I don't care if it's like a repeat. I thought we were going to get his music again. Not much. Very, very little. And so when the music did come in, it was like, whoa, what's this
like
music?
In the dinner scene with
it's beautiful.
Jackpots lady.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I agree with Ralph saying the sweeping scene was the right length. I agree. I think
I'm
that
not gonna touch that one. I'm gonna leave that alone.
you don't like it.
No, it's just like that one stands on its own for some reason. It's just
The
like
reason why I like it is because there's a payoff. Like if he was just sweeping for 5 minutes and then it cut to another scene, I'd be like, get that thing out of here. But because it is literally like them cleaning up the roadhouse and then the phone rings and Jacques answers, like that's what happens when you're at the roadhouse. You would be working there and then the phone would ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought it just worked beautifully because it built to something. It wasn't just thrown in and then that was it. You know, like that guy cleaning the damn windows and Lynch going like that, and they get that shadow guy cleaning the windows.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like I don't know whether to be like that's interesting or what is that doing here?
I mean, it's pretty poetic. Like he's cleaning the roadhouse, and then there's like all this dirty stuff happening behind the scenes anyway.
Right. Well, there's that. But I'm talking about the window cleaner.
No, yeah.
I'm talking about that guy
Messing up. Yeah.
So, let's see.
Another really funny scene. The return was really funny.
David says, funny thing is, the French girl and Monica Bellucci, David managed to get 2 Bond girls into this new show, and both scenes centered around Gordon.
Coincidence?
George says, I wonder if Lynch left a lot of things unexplained to try to sell season 4. Let's see here. Twin Peaks Outside the City Limits goes from my heart, saying it's the Roadhouse and not the Bang Bang Bar. That's right.
Honestly, going back to who said it about Lynch trying to sell season 4? I think it was more about Showtime trying to buy it.
What do you mean? Like
Lynch could have just done it, be done with it, but I think he did it so the Showtime would be like, yeah, give us more, kind of thing, instead of him trying to sell it.
Okay, yeah, I thought you were saying that Showtime was going to try and buy Twin Peaks so they could just make it on their own.
No. I mean, like he wouldn't have to like be like, oh, we want to do this, like give us money to do this. Instead, they would be like, here's money, go do more, kind of thing.
Right, and they're also smart to not give them like a season, like 3 seasons down the line, like what the story would be, because then they could fire them
a little bit, yeah,
and just do their own thing. Yeah, so yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know how long. I don't know how long Twin Peaks could go. Like, I can't imagine Twin Peaks season 7. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to get that. I think it hits season 4, or we get a big standalone movie. Excuse me, or something like that. But season 4, it's over, or as close to over as possible, at least from Lynch and Frost's point of view. And then within our lifetime, there will be the Twin Peaks reboot. It will happen. It will happen. I thought it was going to happen before season 3, to be honest.
God, I can't even imagine.
And what's funny is the guy who greenlit Twin Peaks to begin with on ABC is Bob Iger, who runs Disney now.
Yep.
Who is going to run for president pretty soon.
You think so?
That's what he says.
Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. He wants to run against Trump. Oh, so, if he puts The Rock as his VP or Oprah as his VP, who knows? But, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, when Lynch walked away from Twin Peaks on Showtime, the only person under contract at that moment was Kyle. And Showtime could have easily exercised their right to make Twin Peaks with Kyle. And he couldn't have said anything. So I'm sure Kyle was calling David every day going, come up with a deal. Come up with a deal, please. Don't you got me into this. Do not leave now, and where I'm stuck having to do.
Yeah, that would have been pretty awful.
Yeah.
Ugh. We didn't get that world, thankfully. That's a different, darker timeline somewhere out there.
But you know what, though? There is a part of me that wants to jump over to that timeline.
I'm curious for sure.
I want to see what they would have done. I guarantee you, if they did 12 episodes, there would have been at least one that would have been like, that was cool.
Oh, I'm sure we probably would have liked it. I'm pretty like it probably would have been a lot more like the original. It would have been like fine, fancy free.
There probably would have been another mystery in Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was saying earlier, like most of my predictions like never panned out, but there was a few that panned out. One was that Kyle MacLachlan's or Agent Cooper was going to be out of the lodge by episode 4. But if you go by Blue Rose magazine, they don't believe that. They don't believe he comes out of the lodge until episode 18. They think the whole thing's a dream because they say that you can't go out as long as as long as Mr. C's out there. So Mr. C gets into the lodge, and that's when Cooper steps out into Glastonbury Grove and sees Diane.
Yeah, but isn't the Black Lodge like broken? Isn't that kind of the thing?
My argument is, if you believe that all of season 3 is a dream, and you can very well believe that, but if you believe it's all a dream, then what a waste of my time.
It's a dream, but more of an abstract kind of definition of a dream.
But you're not suggesting that you believe that Cooper was stuck in the Black Lodge the entire time and dreamed of Dougie and all that stuff.
No. I think he got out. I think the Black Lodge was sick or broken or decaying or something. That because Bob was out and they weren't getting their feet fill.
Yeah, I don't because if I literally believed that the first 17 episodes of this thing was a dream, what the hell are we doing watching this thing? That's ridiculous.
Because when the way I took is when the doppelganger of the evolution of the arm said non-existent, that kind of nullified the rules of the Black Lodge. Like, you don't exist, so the rules don't apply.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. To me, I just feel like what's the point? I mean, that's what a waste of everybody's time. And when Cooper says, we all live inside a dream, it's, when they say, who's the dreamer? Who's the dreamer? It's David Lynch. Like, this is his collective dream of all his characters that he's created. That's who the dreamer is. You know what I mean? It's all of us. It's him. It's you. It's me. It's everybody in the chat. It's everybody on the Doug Before
theory. It's everything is connected. All our minds and energy and everything. It's all the dream.
Right. There is no like Laura Palmer was dreaming the whole thing. This was her dream. No, it's everybody's dream. It's the fact is that everybody's on Facebook and Twitter in the Twin Peaks community talking still about Twin Peaks a year after it's over.
It's not like sleep, dream, then wake up, that's a dream. It's like the reality is the dream, and the dream is the kind of thing, I think.
Right. I mean, what do you think is going to happen at these shows in Australia and stuff like that? It's a give and take between the creators and the audience. That is the dream. The space in between is the collective dream.
Yeah.
So
I agree. That's how I took it.
That's how I take it too. Let's see. Matt says, I would love for season 4 or a film to get smaller, focus on Richard, Carrie, Sarah, and Audrey. Well, I don't think everyone says Richard. I'm still convinced. I mean, he identifies himself as Agent Cooper a couple times. He does not identify himself as Richard.
Well, if it's an alternate timeline, he might be Richard. If it's the same timeline, I'm still fuzzy on that.
Well, here's what I think it is. Agent Cooper always had Mr. C in him, right? That's what everybody has, that dark side.
Yeah.
Right? But he wasn't that person. He didn't acknowledge it. You know what I mean? He was Agent Cooper. Then his doppelganger became something else, and then but when he reconciled, when the doppelganger was stopped and Agent Cooper became whole again, I really believe that like that stuff in the restaurant where he's shooting the guy and all that when people say, well, that's not Agent Cooper, it looks like he's Mr. C. I think it's Agent Cooper acknowledging Mr. C now in him. So it's no longer a denial of your other half. It's now a full embrace of both halves.
It's not like this sort of, not to say that he was like sort of tunnel vision, but he was kind of just like very just a matter of fact about things, and the job is a job, and he didn't let anything kind of.
Well, he didn't even let his personal life get involved. He tried. Yeah. He kept a very, kind of blocked it. But I mean, like if he was 90% Agent Cooper, and then repressed the other half, Audrey, what I want and what I need are two separate things. And then Mr. C, I don't want, I don't need, I want. You know what I mean? Like that there's the difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if if you are literally now 50-50, like I'm Agent Cooper, good and bad, then you get this Richard character. That's the way it seems like. Because he doesn't like go up to the Palmer house, knock on the door, get your ass out of here, this is Laura's house, he's not storming in. He's like, hi, I'm Agent Cooper.
Yeah, he's
timid. He's timid, right? He's not like, he doesn't stand in the street like, what the hell year is this? You know what I mean? The show's over. He's like, what year is this? So he's not dirty.
He's
Harry.
like hunched over, like,
yeah.
It's just like his posture's bad. Kyle did a lot that you could pick up on.
Right. It's funny. I mentioned Peter Deming, the cinematographer, getting one of his starts on Evil Dead 2. Well, the ending of season 3 is very much Evil Dead 2, right? People stuck out of time and in another reality, and that type of thing. So it's kind of funny. Let's see here. Addison says, hopefully we get a movie or two. I would rather that than another full season if Lynch is in control. He needs limits and boundaries. That's funny. His mom never gave him a coloring book when he was younger because she did not want him to learn about borders.
Mm-hmm.
Twin Peaks Outside the City Limits says, good point, Joey, about the Black Lodge. You're getting props. Wilton says, yes, each of us is a dreamer. There you go. David says, I think some might get the dreamlike feel and dreamlike narrative mixed up with the actual plot. Twin Peaks Outside City Limits says, how about a US-Canada tour? Jamie Michelle says, Norma and the Missing Pieces says, I think we're all just one giant big smash up. Yep. And then Ed says, oh, sweetheart, we're so lucky. Generous Order says, I don't think we're meant to take dreams so literally. I equate it more with imagination or consciousness or something more along those lines. Yeah. That there it is. Sounds good. Take the Ring says, yep, this guy just nailed Richard. Ooh, thank you. Rosenfield 10 says, the new Cooper lacks the charm, innocence, and character that I fell in love with. Well, yeah, I think they did that on purpose. Addison says, I need more Leland. The whole season 4 should revolve around him. Matt says, Richard is far away. Oh, I agree. Richard is far away. But I think we're just gonna leave it there because we're approaching the 3-hour mark for a show that had very little news, but we always managed to make a thing out of something. So all right, Joey. Any last thoughts before we go?
Any last thoughts
about anything we talked about tonight?
Season 4.
Do you think it's inevitable at this point?
Yes. I'm more sure than I ever was.
And it's not just wish fulfillment from a bunch of like nerdy fans.
No, it seems practical now. Like they're doing this. They're going all in.
It's kind of like when, it's like when you hear about somebody like making a little speech here, making a little speech there, and you go, oh, they're testing to see if they should run for president.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening here.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I mean, it just I'm thinking like what Showtime's thinking from a financial standpoint. That's what they're doing. They're testing the water. They're putting money into this. They're not going to just run away from it.
But they got to make sure that they reach beyond the Twin Peaks fans. They know they're going to get us, right?
Yeah.
They know they're going to get every one of us to watch it. They need to get the other people who don't know they don't know they like Twin Peaks, but you're going to like it. They need to reach those people. And
that's where Carrie Page comes in, I think.
And that's where you center the whole thing around Cheryl Lee.
Mm-hmm.
You can have Kyle
They
MacLachlan.
set it up. They set it up. If you think that was the end, they set it up perfect for a new show or the same show, but with Cheryl Lee as the lead.
But also without Laura Palmer being dead, right? That also means that other characters who died in seasons 1 and 2 could still be alive, and so they could bring back other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's exciting.
And you weren't into the original? It's okay. We have these characters. Here they are again.
It's a new timeline. You can start fresh. You don't have to go back and watch 30 years and a prequel movie. We're starting fresh. And if you think about the ending of season 3, they could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They could do anything. They could go anywhere. They don't have to acknowledge Bob anymore.
I just got chills. Putting it in that context, that ending is like you're seeing your new lead character start her thing. Like you're seeing the new lead like scream into the void, and she's coming at you. I think now I'm really feeling it.
Let me tell you something. The 16-year-old me would love if Cheryl Lee was coming at me, but
I mean,
yeah, she was one of my big crushes when I was younger.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. Well, I think it's safe to say that we are in good standing right now for Twin Peaks coming back more than ever. I'm anxious to see what's going to happen with these Emmy nominations. Like I said, for good or bad, I don't care if it's 20 or 0. I just wish everybody the best. And just remember, as fans, doesn't matter. Just love what you love. Don't let other people in Hollywood define what you love.
I honestly, I don't watch the award shows. I watch them to do these videos. That's pretty much it. I don't get any like weird satisfaction from them, to be honest. I like seeing the people I like win awards, but it does whatever.
All right, Joey, where can people find you on the big bad internet?
All right, guys. So check me out on YouTube at Joey Pedris. You can search it up and you'll find my channel. And it's the same thing at Joey Pedris on Twitter and Instagram. And you'll know when new videos go live. If you check the Twitter, I always update there. So check me out there at least.
And make sure to always tag us on Twitter for every conversation you have, because nothing makes us happier than when we get on Twitter with 6,300 notifications, all about things that have nothing to do with us. We're just tagged on every post.
Everything.
Every post. All right. Now, Mr. C, you need to let everybody know where we can be found. You need to speak a little louder, though. Okay. So, all right. So he says you can find us on Facebook at the Obnoxious Anonymous page. Also, if you haven't liked the Queen of Hearts Facebook page, please do. I'm like 4 people away from hitting 500 likes on that page. So that'll be awesome. Also, make sure to subscribe to our Twitter accounts. Are you going to really rip the thing off my ear? Please subscribe to our Twitter accounts, Obnoxious Anonymous and also Queen of Hearts. And like I said, if you want to check out the Patreon page, check out the show notes below, and become a patron, help this channel grow. That would really mean a lot. So, all right, Mr. C. All right, Joey. All right, all of you. Right. Still got nearly 50 people in the chat. Wow. Have a wonderful night. It was wonderful doing a video with all of you, and we will see you soon. Take it easy, and all right, have a good night.